This is Excel 2016, Module 10, Part 3. In this section, we will be working with two variable data tables. So in the last section, we saw that you could work with a data table and change one variable. In this example, we're going to look at changing two variables in the data table. So we're going to make another copy of our income worksheet. So right click on it, move and copy, move to the end and create a copy. Now again, you don't have to do each of these on separate worksheets like I am. The only reason I do that is so you can go back and compare easier. So we're going to rename this one a DT2 because it's a data table with two variables. And then again, we have some setup that we need to do. Okay. I am going to delete these columns here because those were the ones that were set aside for the other data table. And we're going to come over here to D4. And we are going to type net income analysis. And we're going to set up our prices in just a minute. We're going to set these up. Here we're going to type in average price per unit. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up prices. So we're going to start here in E. We have a price of 300, 325, and then they're going to go up in increments of 25, so I can use autofill, drag that across till I get to 400. And I'm going to format those as accounting with 0 decimals. I want to go ahead and merge and center this and set it to a cell style of headings 3. Then in average price per unit, I also want that to be merged and centered. We're going to set that to a cell style of accent 2. Then we're going to come here into D7 and we're going to type 2000. Again, increase our units by 2,000, just like we did before. So I'm going to drag that down to 18,000. This number I want to format comma with no decimals. And inside this area, we're going to have it accounting with no decimals. And this is also going to be, we don't need to format that one. Okay, in these ranges, where we have our input numbers, we have a unit price that we're going to change. We're going to format that with a fill color of gold, accent 3, lighter 60%. We're going to do the same with our input cells here for our quantities sold. Now in the corner cell, we're going to be setting up a formula that's going to tell it where to look for our results. When you're changing two variables, you can only view one result cell. And so the result cell I am going to look at is the net income. So I'm going to click equals and scroll down to the net income cell. And that is going to become my result cell. All right, the next thing I want to do is actually create my data table. So what the two variable data table is going to do is it's going to put 2,000 in the units produced and 300 in the unit price. Then it's going to do all the calculations, come back with net income, and display it in the intersection of the two. Then it'll change the price to $3.25, keeping the units at 2,000, calculate net income, and put it there. So it's going to put in every combination of units sold and unit price, calculate the net income, and display it in the center, the intersection between the two. So in order to create this, you're going to start in the result cell, highlight all the inputs across the top row, and then all the inputs going down the left column. So that means you should have highlighted D6 through I15. Now remember, we deleted some columns, so the references used in the text will be slightly different. We're going to then go to Data, choose What If Analysis, and choose Data Table. Now remember, with the one variable data table, one of these boxes was blank. With a two variable data table, you will have answers in both boxes. So when you look at the row input cell, it's asking you this: the data across the top row, is that being input into your formula? If the answer to that is yes, where does it go? What we have across the top row is the unit price. That is in B7. So what we're going to do for this row input cell is click on B7. That tells Excel, takes a 300 and put it here in the average unit price. Take 325, put it in the average unit price, and so on. Next, we'll come down to our column input cell, and we're going to do the same thing. Look at the data that's in the column to the left. Where does it go in the formula? In this case, these are the units produced and sold, so they go in B6. Click OK, and you have created the analysis. So you can see that at a price of $300, we do not make money until somewhere between 12,000 and 14,000. And you can look at each price break and see at which point you start making money. We could also see that if we drop down to 2,000 or 4,000 parts, at any of these price breaks, we do not make money. So there's a lot of information that you can gain from this data table. Now they also will have you change the number formatting here. And the reason they do that is because they don't want the dollar amount there. They want it to say units sold. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our Home tab and go into the number formatting group. We're going to create a custom format. And you can see we have a lot of custom formats out there. What this one is going to be is we're going to come up here in this type, delete what's there, and we are going to put in it, in quotes, units sold. And that may seem odd, but what it's going to do is no matter what number is displayed there in that cell, it is going to say units sold. And we could do a cell style of accent 2 to let it match our other heading if we wanted. Now let's look at another chart. So we are going to be charting this data. So I'm going to chart Okay, I'm going to chart row 7, D, all the way over to I, and down to 15. So you're not going to include this top row. Then we're going to say insert, and again we're going to choose on the scatter chart, and we're going to choose scatter with straight lines. We're going to move the chart down to row 16, so it's under our data. And we're going to enlarge it so it goes to the length of our data and stops in row 28. The next thing we're going to do is remove the chart title. And then we're going to move the legend so that it's on the right hand side. So click on legend and move it to the right. Whoops, right. There we go. Next, we're going to do a fill color in the chart area. So again, you're going to go to formatting, make sure chart area is selected, and you're going to do a shape fill of the gray, 25% background 2. Make sure you click plot area. Make sure you do not click one of the grid lines, and that this actually says plot area up here. Then you can change that fill to a color of white. Now if I wanted to change these series, Because right now what they are $300, $325, $350, $375. They're the prices. So let's change what these say so that they say the unit price instead of Series 1. So to do that, you're going to go to Design, and you're going to go to Select Data. So again, we went to Chart Tool Designs, Select Data. Notice here we have Series. So what you're going to do with Series 1 is you're going to edit that. And for the series name, you're going to click in the cell with the $300 price. Then for Series 2, you'll click in the cell with the $325. And you have to do this for each series. $350. Series 4, edit, $375. And then finally, Series 5, edit, $400. And then click OK. Now in the Chart Design tab, we're going to click on the Change Colors. And you're going to choose color 13. So hover over them till you find the one that says 13. And now you see each price point, at what point it actually crosses the 0 and becomes profitable. So that takes care of looking at both of our data tables. In the next segment, we're going to look at the Scenario Manager. So let's go ahead and click off our chart and save our work.